Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you the next installment in our Legion playlist. This is going to be video 9 for the playlist, and it's going to be on the illustrious Space Wolves. So this is a dark grey armor scheme, lots of gold trim, nice bright glowing red eyes. And at the request of one of my followers, they asked me to do a bit of weathering and battle damage on him, so I have done that as well. Stick around guys and enjoy the video. Okay guys, so the time has come. It is time for the wolf. So, like all other videos in this series, well, most of the videos in this channel, we started with a grey Seer spray. And then what we're going to do is go over to a Basilicanum Grey contrast, and it's going to lay a really nice grey base tone down for our powered armor. Space Wolves in 30k are, of course, a really rich grey coloured armor trimmed with a lot of gold. At what point in the 10,000 years between then and now they decided to go for a baby blue color scheme change? I don't know. Were there swatches? Were they trying to, I don't know, but they have indeed gone from the dark gray to a baby blue. But of course this is for the horse Heresy, and our legions are going to be grimmer and darker than ever before, so gray is the color we have gone for. So just like I've described a couple times before, when working with contrast, the best thing to do is to work one part of the miniature at a time to stop things from like pooling or settling in places in weird ways, streaks, that kind of thing. So as you can see, I'm going to do the entire right leg in one go. So I'm going to go the whole way around that, so the two sides of contrast basically meet and mix and blend together properly before one side dries, and then the next layer guy that goes on top of that, and you get this weird line which has happened before. So one neat tidy leg, and then I'll move on to the next part and the next part and the next part until the entire miniature has the contrast that is required. As you can see, it settles into those recesses really nicely, and it's a little bit brighter on the raised areas, so that's how we know where we're going to layer. This is all of the power armor with the Basilicanum Grey applied. Next, we're just going to throw a quick base coat down on the casing of the Corvus pattern bolt gun. And for that, we're going to go for the contrast black Templar. Very quick step, nothing to it. Just all of the casing part of a gun with a quick coating of black. With that done, we are going to move over to the gold part of this miniature. So we're going to use Retributor Armour Gold to lay down all of the base coats on those parts. So unlike the other Heresy Legions that I've done, this seems to be the first one that has more gold than I expected there to be. I expected there just to be gold trim around the shoulder pads like most legions, but these guys seem to trim all of their armor panels with gold as well. So you're going to spend a little bit more time than normal doing all of the gold parts of this miniature. You want to, of course, take your time and be careful. If you make a mistake, it's not too big a deal, because at this stage we're still going to go back and re-layer up that power armor with a nice brighter gray. Kind of make that tone sit the way it's supposed to. So of course, if there's a bit of gold overspray, we can fix that from there, but it's always nice not to have to fix it and keep those nice dark recesses in between parts. But this is what I was talking about, these like trim parts on the armor here. And this particular mark of armor, the Mark III, has basically trim on the edge of every panel. So I'm just going to follow through with that aesthetic on the Space Wolves and do the gold on all of the trim. When it's done, this is what you're going to be left with. From here, we're going to move over to the Leadbelcher base paint. We're just going to touch up all the rest of the metallic parts on this miniature. So for that, it's only really the extra bolt gun parts. So the clip, the barrel, the buttstock, that kind of thing. And then there's some pipe work coming out of his power pack, which I've done on every other Legionnaire in silver, so I'm going to follow that through and do it silver on this guy as well. Once again, not a lot to this stage, just where the silver goes. Also, sorry, the vents on the backpack were also silver, apologies. So with those bits and pieces done, I would call this miniature base coated. Now it's time to shade it down. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the Nuln Oil shade, and we're going to wash the entire miniature with this. Like I've said in previous videos, this is two things for me. Obviously, it's going to shade the miniature nicely. It's going to really set all of those tones, and it's really going to show us where we need to highlight and layer later on. But also, it's going to be a protective layer for the contrast. Contrast paint, when it dries, is not a particularly sturdy paint. It can get scratched and scuffed and rubbed, and you don't want that. A layer of shade all over it actually does protect your coat of paint. So we're going to wait for this to dry, and then while it's drying, we're also going to get the miniature based up. Okay guys, while we wait for the shade to dry and I'm going to get that miniature based up, I just want to thank you guys for the continued support for me and the Mediocre Hobbies channel. If you're enjoying the video, make sure you hit that like button, and if you could do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button as well, that would be fantastic. Only about 25% of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed, so it would mean a lot to me if the rest of you guys hit that button and bump my numbers right up. If you have any questions about this or any other part of this video, make sure you put it in the comments below and I'll get back to each and every one of you guys. And if you want to support me and the channel even further, there are links to things like my Patreon below. Thank you guys so much, and let's get back to painting. Okay, with the miniature based up in the nice Martian scheme I've gone for all my Legion videos, because I want to take a photo of them all at the end, which I'm really excited to see. It's time to start layering back up that power armor. For this, I'm just going to go back to the traditional Dawnstone. It's a really nice mid-tone grey. It's going to sit really nice over the power armor. And like the Word Bears video, if you have watched that, it's going to give you a really nice grey tone in one coat. So all you're going to do is have to layer up this armor panels once, and we are set. So take your time, go around layering up all the different pieces of armor, leaving that really nice dark Basilicanum Grey, black washed base coat in all of the recesses, all those nooks and crannies kind of behind kneecaps and in armpits and shoulder, all those kind of bits you're not supposed to see light. Leave the shade in there, and it's just going to be those raised armor panels that we're going to go to layer up. I have a recurring thing that keeps happening to me with each and every one of these Legion videos, is even ones that don't really excite me before, thinking to myself, oh, I'm never going to paint up an army, these are a squad of these. And then by the time I've gotten through the video or the production of a video, I suddenly have all these thoughts about what an army could look like for me and what units I would put in it, and it's just a continuous worry that I'm going to end up with 18 legions of Space Marines by the end of this Horus Heresy fad. Let's hope not. Once the armor is all layered up, it's time to move back over to the Leadbelcher base paint, and we're just going to touch back up all of the metallic parts of this miniature. So not only are we going to do all of the silver parts, we are going to use this Leadbelcher to touch up and highlight the gold in the most raised areas. So all those bolts, kind of the edges, and then a couple of flat panels as well. We're going to do a bit of like cross hatching, that kind of job. As you can see, I'm just touching the gold. I'm not like, big broad strokes. I'm not trying to put layers of silver over it. Just a little bit, a few points of light, and that will act and really make all of that gold and silver pop. We've also gone and painted in the eye lenses with silver at that point, because I'll be throwing a contrast in them later on, just to give us that nice metallic eye lens coat. I'm going to use Corvus Black just to layer up the bolt gun casing. I've said it a couple times before, but if this is your first video, I do like using the Corvus Black to layer stuff up, as opposed to the Abaddon Black. Abaddon is just a very dark, kind of flat black. Corvus Black has a little bit of substance to it, and it acts kind of a little bit nicer in my eyes. Next, we're going to jump over to the Blood Angels Red Contrast, and we're just going to put a quick dot of red into those eye sockets. It's a very quick way of doing eye lenses, but you got to remember you're going to be painting up 60 to 80 of these guys, and you want to get them done as quickly as possible. Okay, and with that, some of you guys want to stop the video here, or the project here, and you're going to leave this as a beautiful, clean, pristine parade ground Space Wolf. I've had a couple of requests from some of my fans to show a bit of weathering on the Space Wolf. These guys are frontline fighters. They always like getting in the thick of it. So I'm of course just going to weather this down a little bit. I've done it with a couple of Horus Heresy legions so far, some that I think will suit, like World Eaters and stuff. And I thought it would suit the Space Wolf as well. It also tends to break up some of the kind of flatter color toned legions. Obviously this is just a grey color scheme. It's not extremely eye-catching. So using the Green World weathering stick, which is just a bit of sponge kind of thing, some black paint, I have just weathered up the scheme a little bit, made these guys look like they've been fighting and campaigning the whole way through the Heresy, haven't had time to repair those little chips and rents in their armor, and it adds a little point of interest, and I think it worked a treat. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell button to get notified for all future Legion and Horus Heresy content. Thank you guys so much for sticking around till the end of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.